But yeah, so welcome in everybody who's watching on YouTube. We're going to be starting a series here of basically learning how to speedrun Heritage of the Dragon's Tail. Basically one stage at a time. It might be more like one split at a time because some of the end game sequences are kind of like two stages into one split, stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to be showing off how to do like some of the kind of basic tech at the start here, and then how to go to like each specific section as the game goes on. So we're not going to have... Actually, I think I will put a timer up so I can at least time certain segments. Or at least do some kind of like basic testing on how stuff like that works. Okay, there's my thing up there. Yeah, I'm not going to have my full splits up here quite yet, because that's not really going to be quite the focus. But yeah, also if anybody has any questions in chat about like what I'm doing, how the stage works, how the game works, stuff like that, feel free to ask any question you want to ask, and I will answer to the best of my abilities. There's still like some technical details I don't know the details for, but I'm gonna do my best to answer all those questions. And if you're watching on YouTube as well, feel free to leave a comment in the what, is there actually like a term for that? Just kind of, you know, leave a comment below the video, and I'll respond to it with all the same information I can provide on here. But yeah, for now, so there's gonna be kind of one basic movement tech. Well, it's kind of tech. So I think I'll just get into the game and I'll explain it that way. I forgot to turn my controller on. This is a great way to start a guide video. Okay, turning on the controller. Yeah, unfortunately, if I turn my controller on after the game loads, it reads it as like a different kind of controller than if it's on ahead of time. It might just be the fact I'm using a PS5 controller on PC, so that might just be like a personal skill issue thing. But yeah, so let's start that over. If I start that over, I'm not gonna like restart the video. I'm gonna keep my my derpage in there just to kind of show, hey, I'm a derp. But yeah, here we get the intro theme again. Yay! But yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into it. So we'll go into... Okay, one kind of important thing to know is that whenever you start a new game, it'll automatically save your data to whichever save file you used last. So if you want to keep your casual playthrough, you want to basically save your current playthrough onto a separate save slot. Then I'll go back to the next one, and it'll automatically use this one as default. So I use number 1 as my default speedrun save, and 3 is... It's not my 100% playthrough. I did accidentally save over that before. But yeah, that's how you can basically make... Because the game does autosave on its own, so it will always pick one file to autosave from. So that's one thing that you might want to be aware of. But yeah, and then, so when we start the time, it's literally just when you hit new game. Like I mentioned, I'm not really going to be doing like full splits on here, but yeah, the second you hit new game is when you would start the timer. Alright, so here I'm going to go a little bit over some of the basic movement you do. You have a double jump from the start, which double jump doesn't do a lot extra, but it's definitely enough in some cases. And there's also probably the main bit of movement in this run is the dash ability. You do move a decent bit faster. I never actually got like specific timing for how much faster this is, but it definitely moves a lot faster. And I think it's about, like, I want to say a 1 second time or like 1 second cooldown between when you can dash. And probably with the basic movement you'll see is what I call the extended long jump, where you do start with a jump, dash, double jump, dash, and you basically clear like half a screen in the span of a single jump. And so that's a good way to be able to get across a lot of gaps that you wouldn't normally be able to if you're just playing kind of more normally. And yeah, let's just go right to the stage. So one thing you kind of want to do is, yeah, I think you do want to get some experience from enemies. Usually off the slime, so you can just like Mario jump off of them and you get the kill and experience for those. I still don't know if the mushrooms are necessarily worth the time spent to attacking, because you have to slow down and actually hit them. And also one thing to note as well is that anytime you attack an enemy, you do get a little bit of knockback. So you want to make sure that when you do any kind of attacking, and also when you get hit, you obviously get knocked back as well. But you want to make sure that you are not in a position that will be like put you over a pit and then suddenly die. So this is actually one example of a pit you can kind of extended long jump over. And then this thing here, you have to wait for this to come up, and then you can kind of reflect it and blow the thing down. So you can actually reflect a decent bit of attacks in this game. Generally anything that's kind of a flashy attack, that's a projectile, you can reflect back to the enemy or wherever it came from. And you, especially when you get to late game after you upgraded your attack a bunch of times, it'll do a whole bunch more damage. And it's kind of one of the key ways we defeat one of the human guard enemies later on in the game. Then you always get checkpoints, because they will restore your HP and MP every time you pick one up, so definitely recommended. Also, you can defeat those birds just by Mario stomping on them, like with the slimes. Some of them are a little awkward to get to, though, so it's not something I really go for a lot. Yeah, for the most part, this stage is just about trying to move fast, avoiding going in pits, And yeah, so this is another example. You can just do an extended long jump to get across that without even paying attention to the platform. Yeah, the early sections of the guides are going to be pretty simple. And yeah, kind of one of the things is you want to get a little bit extra experience from some of the enemies here, because you will want to get a couple level ups by the time you start the desert dungeon level place. So that one, if you move fast enough, you can just... Yeah, I'll even try to do that again. If you make this particular section fast enough... I forget how the cycle reworks here. Okay, so it is a screen-based. Okay, so anytime you start a screen, there will be some cycles that will kind of reset for you. So for example here, we want to basically dash immediately, dash... Oh. Yeah, this is one of those things where like I can do it instinctively, but as soon as I try to think about what I'm doing, I suddenly can't. Yeah, let's try that again. So you want to make sure you get a good early dash in here. No. Crap, that was my setup. Yeah, I think it's basically just maybe doing the jump. Yeah. I'm kind of learning my own strats for the first time as well, because I'm actually like consciously thinking about it, which is the worst thing to do when you're trying to teach somebody something. Actually, I think you want to be dashing into the screen transition to give that little extra starting speed. So kind of like this. And, oh! Okay, I'm not sure how I got the double jump there. It's okay, this is why we're just practicing. And yeah, every time you die, you will lose 15% of your on-hand money and 10% of your experience. And generally, dying is also a very slow thing in this game. Like, if you want to focus on getting good times, you just want to focus on just surviving. That is probably the #1 thing to think about when you're first doing this. Oh, I didn't realize a single sword swing was enough to beat those birds too. Good to know. Yeah, we just kind of head back, and yeah, you can just Goomba Stomp the slimes. Also, that's the spot I always accidentally kill the bird, and I get free experience that way. Yeah, we just kind of make our way back. For the most part, as long as you're getting the dash button hit in, you're going pretty much fast enough. I still haven't figured out like a perfect rhythm for this yet. It does kind of feel like the time slightly varies. Oh, okay, that was not the right setup. So I think if you dash like right as the screen transition starts, dash up there. Yeah, so I think that's the way you do it. So you would dash into the screen transition, jump dash, jump, then double jump. You can get up there just with enough height. You can skip having to wait for that platform for another tick. Yeah, otherwise, just kind of more basic movement. You can get some money here if you need to, but you really shouldn't need that money. Generally, the first time you would need money will be after you have a chance to get a whole bunch of it, after picking up after saving the blacksmith wife during one of the little side quests later on. Then you have a little down, for me, triangle, but you can remount the controls however you need to. You can actually slide through some sections. Sliding doesn't make you go any faster per se, but it does cause some enemies to get stunned and give you some extra iframes, depending on which enemy you use it on. So it can be really nice for some like safety mechanisms too. So we have another checkpoint. And yeah, until you get downstabbed, pretty much any enemy that comes up on you is going to have a bad time. And then there are these little arena rooms where you literally just have to defeat all the enemies inside as fast as you can. Now, given that this is the first stage, this isn't going to be like super complicated. Like the snakes are probably going to be the worst because they take 4 hits. And the mushrooms take 2. And they always come in the same order, but I think their position is randomized. So yeah, just take care of all those guys. Collect the money just to be a little extra safe and cautious. Then you would collect the thing here, and this is where you'll get the little prompt about how leveling up works. In Speedrun, you just literally button mash this section. But yeah, whenever you get a certain amount of experience, which will increase every other level, you can spend a stat point to increase either your attack, your health, or your magic. And then later on, you'll get I can't think of what the ability is called, but basically like a super dragon ability that'll let you fly around and be invincible. Are experience bubbles worth getting in a speedrun? I would say, at least for the first couple levels, they can be nice, because they'll give you some extra level up points to work with. Also, I love how we're actually missing the entire music because we waited so long in that menu. But yeah, early on, if you see an experience bubble pop up on an enemy, I would say go ahead and go for it. When you get to like the kind of mid-game-ish, like once you get done with... I would say once you start in the city of Alto, the experience bubbles aren't really as worth it anymore unless they're super quick to get, and or they're worth a lot of XP. Like, I think they can range up to typically like 30 to 120 XP per bubble. Early on, even the 30 XP ones are really good because that's like half a level right there. By the time you get to City of Alto, even the 120 experience ones are like maybe questionable. But yeah, in the early one, it is nice to go for the experience bubbles just to get a little bit of safety leveling as well. Because one thing that leveling up does as well is that upon getting the level up, upon hitting the HP threshold, you recover all of your health. And then also, if you level up your health again, you also get an HP recovery. So you can use this as kind of like a safety later on in case you're about to die from damage because you just had like a bad luck with the stage. You can use that to kind of save your run a little bit and avoid a death and avoid some time loss. Alright, and then once you beat that stage, you get the crystal, you get the prompt and everything, you come into this town, you just immediately hold left and leave. There is nothing else you need to do in this town. You will never come back to this section again. And yeah, that is how you do the first stage of this game. So I'm gonna end this. So I will be ending this part of the YouTube video, and I'll be starting the next one in a little bit. So yeah, I will see you in all the next video.